to actually addressing the problem, which is prevention. So if me, I understand that girls like to be objectified, girls like to be, they like to be spanked and all, then that is my understanding. It is not a sole problem. You cannot isolate it and say that these people who are in court, these are individual or lone offenders. It's actually a general problem that must be addressed. And I thank Brittany for pointing out that this is one of the sessions where we can do that. And maybe just to chip on lastly on the question of the dress code, when we say that that girls should know better, they should dress better, and that kind of conversation, we are taking away the shift from the core of the problem and using a scapegoat. So that I say, okay, this girl has dressed in a miniskirt, she's inviting me to molest her, or she's inviting me to sexually harass her, or to advance her inappropriately, then that is a problem on my part. It is not a problem on her part. What I would then ask is, how far can we push it? Today we are talking of dress code. Okay, she's in a very short dress. Then tomorrow I'm with a lady and I ask her, or I ask for her consent, and she doesn't give me consent. Instead she keeps quiet, and then I say, okay, now silence means consent. You see, we can keep pushing the limits from dress code to silence to anything else, and we can push it beyond the elastic limit. So when we talk of dress code, we are just using it as a scapegoat to the bigger problem, to the bigger core of the problem. Yeah, so that is my contribution.
Thank you so much, Sydney. Ann?
I do agree about dress code, which is a scapegoat and will go to silence, and people will come up with all manner of things to say this is the reason as to why I defiled or I sexually harassed this person, and I was okay. It was right for me to do so because they were not meeting a certain criteria. You talked about the Section 23 of the Sexual Offences Act, and you were saying it only covers the workplace, education sector, and stuff like that. But if you look at Section 24, especially Section 24, subsection 5, it talks about even people who are in a position of trust. For example, your dad, your uncle, your friend. You trust this person and believe this person is gonna have your best interests at heart, but they do not meet that, and they sexually harass you. So the law also provides for such. So it does not only provide for employees and maybe students and people in the workforce or in education. It even provides for inmates. Section 24 1, it talks by their wardens what should happen, what is the case. So if you look at the Sexual Offences Act as a whole, you will find that it does address the problem, each and every problem. Do we need to actually adhere to the law? In Kenya, the problem is we have very good laws, but the laws are not usually implemented. People do not know about the law, and people do not know that if you go to court, you can get reprieve for what you want. So most people don't go to court. They suffer with their problems. They don't ask anyone for help. And as Brittany talked about, she said, be as inviting as you can, so that if anyone has a problem, they can come to you and talk to you, and probably you have more knowledge in that particular sector than they do. So you can be able to advise them that the Sexual Offences Act covers a huge or a wide scope of any kind of sexual harassment, and you can get help and justice if it happens to you.
Thank you so much, Ann, and I hope everyone is taking something from this wonderful talk. And just to make a comment, the Adelle video is up on our Instagram page at Kenya MUN. So after the talk, you can kindly go and view it. We're almost coming to the end of this session, so I'll allow a few questions, and I'll allow Kiama Kilonzo to pose a question. Kiama?
Thank you for this opportunity. I hope you can all hear me.
Can you move closer to your microphone or mouthpiece so we can hear you well?
Can you hear me?
Can you proceed?
So 5 years ago, I came across this controversial book known as Honey Money by Catherine Hakim. So it talks about how some women use gain through erotic capital. This is whereby they accrue some social values, some positions by their sexual attractiveness. Yeah. So this is pretty much obvious, because in arenas where there's some arenas where more attractive women are given a head start compared to less attractive women. This is obvious. Looking at arenas such as the entertainment industry. Yeah. So whereby a lady gets a certain position because of how good she looks, but she can't maintain it because looks are not everything. Yeah. She doesn't have the brains or the capabilities to keep her job. So that's whereby can you say that this brings an opportunity for the employer or the head to sexually exploit her in order to keep her job? I pose the question to Anne. Thank you.
First and foremost, I'll just go to the Constitution. It talks about rights and freedoms, and everyone has a right not to be discriminated. So for as long as this person is discriminating you, not giving you a job or not giving you a raise because you don't look a certain way, you can get help for that. And it can also be in a way sexual harassment, because they are giving you a job or they are not giving you the job because of the way you look. About some organizations probably getting, I didn't get that question, the end of the question, but you can, there's a right not to be discriminated. Therefore, an employer or an employee or cannot be discriminated against getting a job because of their looks. And if an employer gives you a raise because of your looks and not based on competency or your credentials, then that would be their prerogative. Their business would fail probably because they've given someone a job who is not competent, who cannot do it just because of the way they look. So yes, if anyone would like to add on to that point, I think they're welcome.
Thank you so much, Anne. And Kilonzo, is there anything you might wish to add? Was that, are you okay? Thank you so much. So we are almost coming to a meeting, and I'll allow our last 7 speakers to continue. So I am humbled to invite the Deputy Secretary General to give her remarks and ask Anne the question. So Jael, kindly raise up your hand as we, just a moment. I can't seem to find her, so I will move on to Anastasia Musuvi. Kindly turn on your microphone.
Okay, so we wind up. I would like to give a suggestion, as most of us here are university students. One thing I think we can implement in our institutions and where we go for learning, because we tend to spend most times in our institutions, is to create clubs that may serve as safe spaces for people, because it is easier for one to approach a club that is centered around issues on sexual harassment, because the journey also continues after you've reported. There's the healing journey that goes on afterwards. So I think it's sort of a support group in the form of a club where people can go and talk about the things they're still going through. And yeah, that would work for us, who most of us here I think are university students. I think it's important to have such spaces in our institutions where people who are victims can go to, because even in that you can help other people learn more about these things and know what to do. And then if this culture is adopted from a young age as university, then even in the employment spaces and as people go on in life, they can be sensitive towards sexual harassment issues. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna. I really appreciate, and that's a wonderful comment. So, Anne, might you have anything to say concerning that?
I was having connection problems. I didn't get her quite clearly. I'm sorry. If she can just probably repeat it in a summary kind of way.
Anna?
So my point was on in schools and institutions, which may serve as safe space, because it's easier people of the same age to approach each other when they have issues such as. So it would be a great way to teach even people in about these things, so that culture of being sensitized to issues from as young age, so they can adopt it. Yeah.
Okay. Of Nairobi, we have this app that was created by the young tech students in the university. It's called the Radar app. It's supposed to be opened as from next year to also other universities, whereby young people come together and they talk in that app. There are counselors. You can be able to inbox a counselor and probably talk to them about the issues that you're facing, and they'll be able to help you. Apart from that, you can talk to your peer about mental health issues, talk to them about sexual harassment if you're undergoing any kind of sexual harassment. But it was basically formulated, or the app was made to ensure that young people in our society, because sometimes we need to express ourselves, vent, and talk about the situations that we are going through with people who understand. And the best thing about that app is the anonymity of that app. So you can talk about your story without people knowing that it's Anne saying this story, and people come and encourage you, help you, talk to you, counselors talk to you and help you. And I've seen it is, if it is able to go to also other universities and be expanded to other universities, I think it would really help out people. Yes, I do agree, we need to have a way where we as peers comfort each other, talk to each other. And I believe if we are supposed to mend this social fabric of our country that seems to have torn into two, whereby people are thinking sexual harassment is normal. It is only us who can weave back that social fabric to ensure that there is no sexual harassment anywhere in Kenya. By talking to each other, helping each other, and saying no and being against it fully.
Thank you so much, Anne. That is that's the point to take home, as we're supposed to be our brothers and sisters keepers. And remember to be the change and take the challenge. I will now give the platform to Omoyo to ask the question. Omoyo, kindly turn on your microphone.
I already did ask the question.
Oh, apologies concerning that. Then we shall now move to the Deputy Secretary General, Madam Jael Marere. Kindly turn on your microphone. Jael?
Hello. My name is Jael Marere. I am the Deputy Secretary General of the 20th session. I'm also a law student from Strathmore. I'm really happy with what's been going on with the whole conversation and getting to see people's opinions and views. Mine is more of a comment that was made about the dressing, which Sydney had already addressed. But it came from a point of view where it comes to a point where dressing is being used as an excuse for sexual harassment, in the sense that, you know, even for us as law students, before we go for judicial attachment or before we have, you know, legal attachment, you know, the girls and the boys are separated. And, you know, we're told, you know, these are the things that are going to happen. And for girls, it'll span from 1 hour to 2 hours. Well, for guys, you find that their conversation lasts for like 15 minutes. And so it gets to a point where, you know, as an aspiring lawyer or an advocate, we're already told how we're supposed to dress. Yeah. And the fact that we still have to have a talk on sexual harassment, despite the fact that we'll achieve those dressing standards, already speaks volume when it comes to sexual harassment. And that's something that I'd wanted Ann to touch on, because it gets to a point where dressing, if we have all the girls dress appropriately, are we going to say that no one will be sexually harassed? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jael. Ann?
About the issue of going to judicial attachment and being told what to wear, I believe when you go to judicial attachment, of which I also went to judicial attachment, we were being taught and we were being initiated in a way into the law field, the field of law. And the Kenya Law Society is the one that issues dress code for lawyers. So it says it's not only for women, it's also for men, because it dictates the kind of tie a man can wear when you're going to court. So it also dictates the kind of dress a lady can wear when going to court. So personally, I did not see it as a way as sexual harassment in a way. I think that is just the law having a standard and wanting that to having not a standard, maybe a culture. It has been in the it's been in the law culture that they dress a certain way when they go to court. So we were just being initiated into that culture. I did not personally, and again, people usually have different opinions. My opinion and how I took it was we were being initiated into a culture, because if you go to the UK, when you're going to court, you have to wear those robes. It's part of their culture. So our culture dictates that we dress in a certain way when you're going to court. And it does not necessarily, it's mostly about colors, the kind of colors you can't wear, the length that you can or cannot wear. I do think they're a bit too much when they even tell you the kind of shoes you wear or not wear. But it is, in my opinion, the law culture, the culture that is there to ensure that law still is the prestigious field that it has always been.
I wasn't trying to say that it's sexual harassment. What I was trying to point out is the fact that, even when we're being integrated into the law culture, yeah, girls will attain the standard of dressing that we're supposed to, yeah, but you still find that sexual harassment still takes place in those fields, yeah. So it gets to a point where dressing is being used as an excuse when someone who sexually harassed someone says, oh, she was dressed in a type of way. You get girls will still attain that level of dressing, and you will not still tell me that sexual harassment won't occur, because, as you said, dressing is a personal choice. But, even if you attain the standards that the society will claim, or, you need to dress in this type of way, people will still be harassed about it. That's where I was coming from.
And I totally concur with you that dressing should be a personal choice. Sexual harassment, dressing cannot be a scapegoat for sexual harassment. Never. Even if they tell us to wear clothes from our heads covering everywhere, there are still cases in Mombasa of rape, yet there people are a bit more conservative in the way they dress. So sexual harassment should not be covered in the issue of dressing. No, people should wear how they please without having to think about, will I be sexually harassed just because I have worn a certain way.
Thank you so much, Ann and Jael, for that. We have 3 more speakers before we conclude this session. And if it has been a complete and you've learned something, kindly just raise up your thumb. And then as we, continue interacting and learning more about sexual harassment. Thank you so much, guys. Thumbs up to everyone. Now we'll move on to Gloria Chirano, the USG of Kenyatta University in Kitui. Kindly turn on your microphone. Gloria? Just a moment, kindly. If not so, just give me a moment. Now we shall move to, yes, I found her. Gloria? Apologies for that.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I have one question and one comment. My name is Gloria Cherono. I am the USG for KU. I am the I'm the USG for KU Kitui. And I have a comment that stems from a comment that was made in the comment section by one of us. And it was along the lines of women's dressing should be dictated by the country's moral code, like Dubai. And I strongly disagree with that comment because, first of all, today we are here to advance SDG 5, which is gender equality, and Dubai just recently that women were allowed to, still not allowed to vote. So in very many ways, the women in Dubai are greatly oppressed, and I don't think we should be borrowing leaves from them. We should borrow from more advanced nations that have allowed their women to progress. And I feel as if you are only responsible for your own actions. You cannot manage anyone else's actions, and trying to do so sometimes violates human rights. And as Model UN, we are trying to advance the goals of the United Nations, and one of them is protecting human rights and dictating what people should wear in terms of law, like Dubai has violated women's rights to personal freedom and expression and has greatly oppressed them, in my view. And I don't think it's something we should encourage and adopt. And I'm glad it came out in conversation today because we can see it's things we think about and things we feel is right. But in very many ways, if we engrade certain aspects in this society, it will degrade the fight for equality, and it won't help us in advancing this SDG, and it will just take us back very, very many years, and mostly primary school. And over the course of this pandemic, it has been heartbreaking because I will speak right now. I am in Kericho, and one hospital, Kericho District Hospital, daily records 4 to 5 defilement cases and 4 to 5 suicides. And on average, that is 150 young girls defiled every single month in one county. And if we extrapolate that to the entire nation, how many young girls are being exploited during this period because they're home? And my question is, do you feel enough is being done to protect our children? Because they're school-going children, they're just starting life, they deserve protection. And I think in many ways, when you grow older, the duty to protect yourself is passed on to you. Like, you're told you're older, you're a woman now, we have told you not to walk here. Like, we remember Uyenye, the woman who caused the Women's March because she was raped and killed at a post office. We have grown up being told, don't go here, don't go here, don't dress like this, don't do this. But many women still end up raped. You've had women who are raped who are wearing hijabs. Every part of their body was covered, but they were still raped. So is it a dressing issue, really? But anyway, like, to not move aside, my question is enough being done to protect our children, our school-going children who are constantly being defiled? So that is my question. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Gloria. We'll now move to Ann, and we have 2 more speakers left. Ann?
First and foremost, it's so nice to see Gloria once again. We went to high school together, and I'll concur with everything she says about dressing. We have seen women wearing hijabs who are defiled or raped, and it shouldn't be a matter of dressing. Dressing is not, it shouldn't be a matter of dressing. But the question that she asked about, is enough being done? Enough is not being done, because I believe that if we continue having these conversations and looking for solutions, I believe that at the end of the day, we should come up with suggestions or ways in which we can be able to do something from where we are at. Because right now, you find that children have been taken out of schools, they are home, and that's why we saw so many cases of female genital mutilation happening, because they are home and they are there with these perpetrators. You find that your mother probably is married to someone else who is not your father, and you are home with that person, and that person defiles you every single day. Enough is not being done, because at times you find that even the mother, your mother, the person you expect to help you, is not doing anything to assist you. So how can these people be helped? I believe that this conversation should not end without us coming up with something that we can do as Kenya Model UN, that we can do to ensure that we are doing something. Let us just not talk, but also have action. How can we help these people? I think that will be a good thing to have achieved. If we can say that we are going to probably do something on social media, or we are tasking ourselves to help the people in our societies, whether you are in Kericho or you're in Kisumu or you're in Nairobi, I am sure you can be able to help someone. Open this conversation. Let us come up with something that we are going to do as KMUN that would make an impact, not just speaking, but also acting.
Thank you so much, Ann. We all need to act. Apologies about the sound distortion. We have 2 more questions, and I will go to Kimani Njoroge. Kindly unmute your microphone as we conclude the session. Kimani?
Yes, I would like to follow up on what one asked about persistency. So I think the issue of persistency in Section 23 of the Sexual Offences Act is because, one, every adult Kenyan who is of sound mind and is out of jail is allowed to make sexual advances to a person of another sex. But if such sexual advances is to the effect of or detrimental to that person's, let's say, promotion or work, then that sexual advance is unwarranted. The other issue that I need to talk about is the issue of marital rape. Section 43 at subsection 5 says that unlawful acts or such as sexual assault cannot happen to, the section cannot be applied to a person who is who are married. That means that it is very difficult for married people to pursue the avenue of reporting rape or sexual assault. But if it comes to divorce, the Marriage Act of 2014 allows one to introduce it as a ground for cruelty. The other issue I would like to talk about is the issue of victims. Studies have shown that some of the perpetrators are previous victims. So if we continue with the victim blaming for people who have been sexually harassed or raped or sexually assaulted, then we are also encouraging them to perpetrate such acts in the future. Thank you.
Ann? And if you may respond.
I'm sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. Talk about the Sexual Offences Act 43.3. I was trying to look at it. I really don't get where you are reading from, because I can't see it, but I will look into it, and we can have this conversation later on in my social media handles. Again, I am a trainee, I'm a law student. I am not the oracle of all knowledge in regards to law, but it's something I will look into and I will be able to answer later on. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ann, and thank you, Kimani. And we are now, sorry. Thank you so much, Ann. And we are now moving to the last question, which has been posted by Isaka. Isaka, kindly turn on your microphone, and then we can move on.
Okay, thank you. Just have a simple question. It will be very desperate to end this conversation without knowing whether sexual harassment is an issue of women against men? Because I see a lot of people are talking about women dress code. Where are the men in this whole thing? Because I know men are also being harassed. So who is defending them? Because if we don't end this narrative of where there is a debate about sexual harassment is an affair of women, then definitely we are not going to end it well. And I believe that as long as women still need attention, as somebody mentioned earlier, I think men will forever be victims of the same, of this case. So is it a matter about women against men?
Thank you, Comrade Isaka. We appreciate your comment. And just before Ann speaks, I'd like to make it very clear that both genders are being affected by this. If you feel like, no, it's not even about if you feel. Yes, it is in this space that women are being talked more about, but you're not refusing the fact that male people are also being sexually harassed. I personally know of a male who has been sexually harassed. And from this talk that I've attended today, I now know what to do moving forward. So I'll give Anna a chance to respond to that.
I totally agree with you, Comrade Isaka, that it's not only women who are being affected and who are being sexually harassed. Both men, male and females, can both be sexually harassed in whatever the situation is. I have been very careful during this whole talk not to just focus on women. I have also talked about men, and I've said there could be female lecturers who are sexually harassing boys and men for grades and things like that. So it does not only happen to women, it happens to men too. And I would encourage that the men who are here and the women who are here, if you hear of a male who is being sexually harassed, encourage that person to come out, because sometimes men go through this harassment, but just because of the notion that men need to be strong, men cannot be harassed, they don't come out and they continue suffering. We should not let that happen just because our society says that men should behave in a certain way and women should behave in a certain way. Now, if anyone is being sexually harassed, the hotline that I give does not only cater to women, it caters for both men and women. It's just that women have for the longest time been the victims, that you would find that the conversation is leaning towards women because they are probably more in number, but that does not mean that we are discriminating against the men in our society who are being sexually harassed in our society.
Thank you so much, Ann. And truly, Isaka, I hope that is a note that you will take while the talk concludes and in your life. So we have reached the end of our session today, and I'd like each and every one of us to kindly just give a thumbs up to Ann for the marvelous work she's done today. So everyone, just thumbs up on our reaction section. Thumbs up, everyone. That's how we do it, and we do it KMUN. Thank you so much, Ann, and God bless you and bless your work. We shall now allow you to proceed to your other duties, and let's all take the conversation to the social media platforms and with our friends. If you check the chat section, there are pages for inquiries, our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and also our website. Take a visit, know more about Kenya Model United Nations. So thank you so much, Ann, and we'll meet another time. Thank you.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate. You can always call me at any time with matters regarding to women and women issues. I am a champion for women, for women's rights and their issues, and I will be always available to speak about anything. And if you guys would need any kind of help in terms of reaching probably anyone probably who has a say in all this, I would be willing to help. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ann. Michelle?
Okay, yeah. So thank you everyone who has been able to come. We will be posting this video for anyone who is not able to attend, and also we'll be posting the recordings as well. I'd like to just say one thing. If you blame the rape victim because their clothes or provocative. You must also blame the bank that was robbed because it was rich. Thank you so much for this talk. I'd like to leave you with 4 things to do: speak out, distract, get help, and follow up. And thank you so much, Anne, and also to Jamal and Absentia for being our talks, heading our talks today. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I have been your host, Michelle Akwe, with Jeff soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. But before we conclude, we'll allow Anne to proceed to her other duties. Thank you so much, Anne. And then I will give the President of the General Assembly an opportunity to speak. Thank you so much, Anne, and have a good day. Elsie?
Okay, hi people. Okay, fine. The last part of today's talk is the announcement of the trivia results. So yeah, that is why I am here. So I would like to present my screen so that we could see how different chapters fared during the trivia. And I hope you've enjoyed the talk. I really hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope after this, it's not just going to be a talk whereby we talk and then we go and move on and nothing comes out of it. I hope that something will come out of it. I hope that when we go back to our homes, our communities, we're going to do something about sexual harassment. I hope you're going to speak out about sexual harassment. Now, I'd like to present my screen so that we get to see how different chapters fared during the trivia. And I don't know how to present my screen.
You are the host right now. You can share the screen.
Oh yeah, share screen. So, can you guys see can you people see my screen? On the question, what chapter are you representing?
Yes, we can see.
Okay.
We can see.
Michelle. So as you can see, the chapter 144 people took part in the trivia. Out of the 144, 29.9% were from Strathmore University. Then 9.7% were from Kenyatta University Parklands. 11.8 were from Kabarak University. So I'd like us to give a round of applause to these 3 chapters because they had the most participants. And you will also notice that the first 10 people are people from these chapters. So the other chapters that are also here, of course, every chapter is here, but there are chapters that definitely need to come up higher. I wouldn't say pull up your socks, no, but let me just say that there are chapters that need to come up higher in terms of their participation in the trivia and in Kenya Model UN activities. And I hope that the chapters are represented here. We have MKU Parklands that only had 1 participant. We have JKUAT Karen only had 3 participants, and it's a chapter that needs to come up higher because we know it is a chapter that has numbers. We have seen numbers from JKUAT Karen. So anyway, now we go to the results. So the first 10 people, let me just change my screen. Okay. So the individuals in the top 8 position, top 8. The first person was Achieng with 710 points from Strathmore University. I don't know if we have Strathmore people here. They need to celebrate their person. Secondly, we have Sharon Witari. Sharon Witari from JKUAT Karen, who also happens to be a PGA Bureau member, scored 660 points. Okay. At the 3rd position, 5 people. We have Bulinge from JKUAT Karen. I think she happens to be the Deputy President of the International Law Commission. We have Tabitha Mwika from Strathmore. Apologies for the spelling. Yeah, we have Tabitha from Strathmore. We have Michelle from KU Parklands. We have Parizada Hassan Ali from Kabarak, and we have Darlene Ripere from Strathmore. So do you see why I was saying that JKUAT Karen needs to come up higher? They have 2 people in the first 3, the top 3 position, yet only 3 people took part in the trivia. So what if more than 10 people took part in the trivia? What result will we be seeing? We have Valine Laibuta at the 4th position from Daystar University. We have another one from Strathmore University, Pankaj Varsani at position 5. We have Brian Kibet and Parklands. We have Latifa Faiz from East African Institute of Certified Studies. Now, this is a chapter that needs to be uploaded because this is a new chapter. This chapter is literally one of the babies of Kenya Model UN. It is less than a year old in Kenya Model UN. So Latifa, keep it up. She happens to be the local PA for East African Institute of Certified Studies. I don't know if she's here. I saw her. I don't know. Anyway, we'll celebrate all of them all together. Then we have Charlene Kapere from Strathmore University. Then we have Vincent Okello from MKU Parklands. He happens to be the only person from MKU Parklands who took part in the trivia. So MKU Parklands is a chapter that needs to come up higher. Nonetheless, congratulations to Vincent Okello. We have Murigu Fidelis from KU Parklands. We have Clara Karaoke, who also happens to be a PGA Bureau member in the local PGA of Strathmore University at the 6th position. Then at the 7th position, we have David Karaoke from Quer. We have Tabasi, the PICJ from KU Parklands. Saboke Masala from Strathmore, and with 500. So at the 8th position, we have Sherry Lombugu from Strathmore. We have Christine Gitau from Strathmore. We have Eric Kabarak, and we have Ansel Macharia from KU Kitui. Again, the only person who took part in the trivia from KU Kitui. So these chapters that are represented in the top 8 positions, yes, they only had 1 person participating. What if you had more of your members take part in the trivia? What if? So you need to come up higher. We congratulate you, we celebrate you, but you need to come up higher. Then next we'll go on to the chapter results. So the best chapter for this trivia is, I need you guys to guess. I don't know. Is it possible for me to unmute all your mics? Because I want to hear what you think the best chapter is for the trivia.
Yes, Elsie, you can unmute. It's possible. Yes.
I'd like to unmute all of you just to hear your voices. Unmute. I can't find the option. I can't find the option. I'm so sorry. So because I can't find the option, so I'll just go ahead and announce the best chapter. Stop video. Okay, fine. I can't find the unmute everybody icon. So yes, so the best chapter for this particular trivia, and that is a chapter that other chapters need to take note of, and a chapter that they need to watch out for, it is Strathmore University. Strathmore University had 43 participants. I don't know if that all their members are 43. I'm sure they have more than 43 members, but 43 people took part in this trivia, and together their points totaled up to 17,400. Secondly, we have the the currently best chapter, KU Parklands, with 6,620 points. Yes, I am not going to comment on anything to do with KU Parklands for personal reasons. Thirdly, we have a chapter that I feel that really needs to be commended and to be celebrated, because this is a chapter that it's not a baby like East African Institute of Certified Studies, but this is a chapter that joined Kenya Model UN during the 18th session. It's just been 2 years in Kenya Model UN, and slowly but surely we can see them growing in terms of activity, in terms of membership, and now even in terms of their participation in the trivia. Yes, so 5,940 points go to Kabarak University. Kabarak University and KU Parklands had the same number of participants. So yeah, Kabarak University, you need to just keep it up. keep it up. I'm personally very proud of you because I was there to see Kabarak chapter joining, and I remember the first USG was a really good friend of mine, Amina. Next, we have University of Nairobi main campus at the 4th position with 4,280 points. At the 5th position, we have Daystar, 3,950 points. Then, at the 6th position, is another baby of Kenya Model UN, KU Main. KU Main is a new no, not KU Main. Oh, I'm sorry. ZTEC. KU Main is as old as, it's even older than KU Parklands in KMUN. But ZTEC just joined Kenya Model UN, and they were able to get, I think, around six to 8 participants, and together they got 2,720 points. So now below ZTEC, we have chapters here that have been in Kenya Model UN for as long as, as long as 15 years, 10 years, more than 10 years. Yet ZTEC University, a new chapter comes in and scoops the 6th position. So, chapters, old chapters, you need to check yourselves. And ZTEC, keep it up. We are very proud of you. Then KU Main at 2,520, another chapter that's been working actually, because KU Main has not exactly been the best in terms of membership, judging by last session's conference. So yeah, they're coming up and we are happy for them. We have Queer at the 8th position with 2,240 points. We have East African Institute for Certified Studies at position 9 with 2,000 points. And at the 10th position, we have JKUAT Main Campus at 1,950 points. Yes. So congratulations to the top 10 chapters. And yeah, I'm very happy in the trivia. Kindly encourage your members to register for warm-up challenge once warm-up challenge announcements are made, because the trivia, we are going to continue with the trivia and the warm-up challenge. Yeah, thank you. I think I'm done. And I'm very happy, but I'm very happy especially because of ZTEC University and of East African Institute for Certified Studies, and of course because of Strathmore. Strathmore really got their members to take part in the trivia.
Elsie, kindly make me the host as I conclude the session.
There. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And to all the delegates present and the chapter officials present, we shall be having a warm-up challenge on the 11th of July, and all necessary materials shall be sent to you, and ensure you have distributed them to your members. Again, as we now conclude this session, I would like to thank everyone for their time and for participating. And let's take the conversation to our friends. Let's be active on social media, and let's talk more about this and get rid of this menace. Kindly check out our Kenya Model United Nations pages. You can send us an email on our info pages. You can check us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and also you can check out our website at www.kenyamodelun.or.ke. Thank you so much, guys, for your time, for your patience. Remember, be the change and take the challenge. And this has been one of the greatest talks I've ever been in. And I'm pleased to have been your moderator for the day. My name is Jeff Kiprop, the Secretary General of the 20th session. And I'll allow my co-moderator, Michelle Akwe, to make a few remarks before we close. Michelle? Michelle? I guess she's not around, but therefore, Elsie, if you can, Elsie, kindly. Okay.
Yes.
The yes. Screen sharing. Have you concluded about concerning the screen?
I've concluded. I'm just trying to find a way to stop sharing.
All right.
I can't find. Okay, I don't know. I'm trying to, but it's not. It's not. I don't know if that. Oh yes, top share. Okay, fine.
Okay. So thank you so much, guys, and to everyone, we can put a thumbs up for as we conclude this session. So thank you so much, guys, and God bless you. 11th of July, we have warm-up challenge, and be sure to check out Kenya Model United Nations platforms. Thank you so much, and
Also,
God bless you. Yes, Elsie?
Also, let's keep this conversation going. Let's keep this conversation about sexual harassment going. A conversation and also action. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Have a lovely time. Stay safe, stay at home, and remember, our theme is be the change and take the challenge. God bless you all, and goodbye.